Shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel. Yahawashi Atha. This is Soldier Hamad of LOG Augusta, Georgia, under Priest Kahan and Minister Shalomah of the Light of Zion. Now today, we will be getting into the dietary law. Why is it important to keep it, right? Because we know that our people, we feel like it's okay to eat anything. What can we eat and what can't we eat, right? Today, we're mainly going to be focusing on the animals that are upon the earth and the seafoods, right? Because this is where our people lack the most, right? So we always got to start off with the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. Let me get that. Let me share my screen. Con. All right, the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. Here's the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Most High and the Abba by him. Right, so whatever we're doing in word or deed, we're never giving thanks, honor, glory, praises to the Most High, Yahawah. We always got to give it through Hamashiach Yahawashi, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. So through him, right, because he is our mediator, he set an example on us, right? We're supposed to follow his footsteps, right? Whatever he did, we're supposed to be doing, right? Because he was an example unto us. So whatever we're doing in word or deed, whenever we're giving praises, honor, glory to the Most High, we always give it through Hamashiach Yahawashi, right, to the Most High, our Father, right? All right, so let's go ahead and go straight to the point, right? Before we do start, I want to pull up the books, Proverbs chapter 5, verse 7. Right? This book of Proverbs chapter 5, verse 7. Hear me now. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 7. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Right? So we shouldn't be departing from the word of the Most High. We shouldn't be departing from the commandments. We shouldn't be making excuses to depart from the Most High and the commandments. Right? Because you look around Christian churches or any churches actually in other nations, they'll tell you that it's okay to eat whatever you want. Right? Or they'll always have an excuse for it, a reason for you to eat, a reason why you're able to eat whatever you want. Right? But we shouldn't be departing from the mouth of the Most High. And we know the Most High don't change. Right? We need to have faith in the Most High. Right, so let me go ahead and go straight to the point now. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are upon or the beasts that are on the earth. Right? So the Most High spake unto Moses and Aaron, giving us a specific instruction, the children of Israel, right? Specific instruction on what to eat and what not to eat. Right? The beast, which is the animals. Right? So let's go ahead and get started, right? Verse 3. Whatsoever part the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beast, that shall you eat. Right? So if you're gonna eat an animal, right, the hooves have to part, right? Let me put up a picture of a hoof real quickly. Right? So this will be a good example of a part of the hoof, right? A sheep is a good example, or a goat is a good example, right? They got hoofs and they parts, right? This right here would not be a good example because it's not parting, right? So hoof is a good example of one that splits. Right, so verse 3, starting from the top. Whatsoever part of the hoof and is cloven footed and chew of the cud among the beast, that shall you eat. And we know the cud is a grass. Right? We know the cud is a grass, right? We know cows, they chew on grass. They're a good example. Right? A goat is another good example also. They chew of the cud. See, the goat and the cow, they fit all three of those descriptions, meaning they're good to eat, right? You cannot lack in any of them. All three of them have to be accurate, right? So going to verse 4, right? We're going to get into some examples. Verse 4, nevertheless, these shall you not eat. Salakia. Verse 4, nevertheless, these shall you not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, right? As the camel, because he chewed the cud but divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you. So a camel is a good example, right? They chew on the cud. That's a check, right? But because their hoofs don't divide, you shouldn't be eating it, right? He divided from not the hoof, right? Meaning you shouldn't be eating it. That makes him unclean to you. And the coney, we know that's part of the rabbit family, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you. That's another example, right? And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean to you. All right, so let's put a picture of some rabbits real quickly, just so I could have an example for y'all. Okay, so let's see here. Just going images. See if I can get a good view. This is a good view right here, right? A rabbit, they don't have no hoofs. These are animals you shouldn't be eating, right? Those are paws, right? These are animals you shouldn't be eating. They're unclean to you. Go ahead and continue with the scripture. Verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. All right, so we know the swine is the pig, right? So let's search it up real quickly, just to prove it. Okay, swine is a pig. These animals are unclean to you, right? Our people eat it like it's nothing today. We eat bacon like it's nothing. Our people eat grill, and they know it's good, right? But it's unclean to you. That's something you shouldn't be eating, according to the Most High. Thus said the Most High, right? He spoken to Moses and told them to speak to the children of Israel, right? That we shouldn't be eating foods we shouldn't be eating, right? And the Most High has a purpose for everything. He told us not to eat the swine. Why would he say that? Why would he say not to eat the camel, the rabbits? He's not just saying it just to say it, right? He has a reason for everything. Let's get the book of. Actually, let's just put this aside real quickly, right? Let's look at because we know that a pig, they eat anything. We know a pig, they'll eat their own kind, whether they're alive or dead. Right? They'll eat whether they're alive or dead. They'll eat their own kind. They'll eat their own poop, right? And I'm gonna pull up a scripture for that real quickly, because that's something our people don't know, right? They believe that all you gotta do is pray over your food, and that'll be the solution for it, right? Right. Let's pull the scripture out. This is the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Right. So a pig, right? If you go back to the book of Leviticus, the Most High considered a pig unclean and all these other animals. In this scripture, it says, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Meaning you cannot make an unclean food clean. Right? You think just because you're washing it and cleaning it, that is good for you? No, it's still unhealthy. Right? The only person that control of this is the Most High. Right? And Christians would say all you gotta do is pray over your food. Right? But you could eat anything, right? You could a poison snake. Praying over it won't work, right? Because the Most High told you not to eat it. He won't listen to the prayer if you're not listening to him. Right? We're supposed to be set apart. We're supposed to be holy. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people among himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Meaning we shouldn't be like the other nations. Right? He said we're holy, meaning we're set apart. We're different from the other nations. We grew up in this system. We grew up in this system thinking it's whatever we're doing, we could do whatever we want because of the other nations. The Most High told us to be separate for a reason, right? Let's get the book of Revelation real quickly. Book of Revelation, chapter 18, starting at verse 3. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of wrath of her fornication. Right? So what's the wine talking about in here? What is the wine? It's not talking about a literal wine. It's the doctrine, the philosophy, the idolatry, right? That's just off. I mean, we're drunk off our philosophy. We celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter Day, instead of the high holy days the Most High gave us. The Pentecost, the Feast of Tabernacles, the Passover. Right? We have our own holidays. Right? We have our own heritage. We have our own tradition, right? We need to come back to it. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And depart from the other nations. Right? We rather do what all the other nations do than what the Most High gave us to do. The other nations love to say that we are one nation under the Most High. Right? Even in school, they had us standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Put our hand across our heart, saying we're one nation under God. Right? They know what they're doing. They're trying to separate us from these law, statutes, and commandments. It's our job to not fall for it, to not drink out of the wrath of the fornication. Right? They'll tell you all different type of things. They'll tell you that it's good to eat pork, to eat crabs. Right? We'll get into that in a second. Right? They'll tell you that it's okay to eat so many different type of foods, right? For example, right? Let's go on Google real quickly. Yeah, let's search this up real quickly, right? Let's say, let's see what race has the highest rate of heart disease, right? And that's how you know we're holy, because the Most High going to punish us for breaking His commandments. This is blacks have the highest rate of cardiovascular disease in the U.S., with about 47% affected. Right? It's not a coincidence. The Most High gave His law, statutes, and commandments to us, the dietary law to us. Right? That's why our people is dying at a high rate of heart disease. That's why our people is catching diabetes, right? Getting sick. Right? It's because of the food they're eating. We go against the Most High commandment, He will punish you. You might not see it now, but it's gonna happen. Right? Meanwhile, Esau is doing their job. They're being wicked. They're lying. Right? Let's search up, are pigs healthy to eat? Right? You search up if our pigs are healthy to eat. This is what you see. As a red meat, pork has a reputation for being unhealthy. However, it is a good source of certain nutrients, as well as high quality protein. Consumed in moderation, it can make a good addition to a healthy diet. Right? So they start out saying, yeah, pork is unhealthy. But then, like, they end up saying, yeah, it has some things that's unhealthy about it. But then they're going to sit here and tell you, oh, yeah, it has good protein. It's a good source of certain nutrients. Right? And they'll tell you it's a good addition. They end it off with it's a good addition to a healthy diet. Right? This is their job, to lie to us. Right, let's get this book real quickly. And that's why Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, it says, never trust thine enemies. That's Esau. We should never trust him. Right? They will speak lies. They'll get you to sin. This is what they want you to do. They want you to sin. When you go down to verse 12 to 16, it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. And it's talking about us, right? They'll speak like it will sound like they want you, like they care about you, right? For example, that's a good example right here. Right? They're saying it can make a good addition to a healthy diet. They know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to eat that pork. They're trying to sweet talk you into eating the pork. Right? Because there's some of our people out there, right? If I tell them, oh, it's unhealthy to eat pork, right? They'll look at me like, I mean, if you go on Google, right? If you go on the internet, right, it's gonna say that it's good. It's a healthy diet. But you got to look at the bigger picture, right? You got to look at the scriptures, look into the scriptures, right? Because that's Esau's work right there. They're lying. That's what they're made to do. Right? So we let Esau deceive us. This is a system we grow up in where sinning is normal. We grow up in this system and do what we see other nations do. Again, this is why the Most High said we're holy. We're separate from all the other nations. Let's get back to the book of Leviticus. Book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7 again. And the swine, which is the pig, though he divided the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch. They are unclean to you. All right, so the Most High said not to eat it. Don't eat it. Right, verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. Right, so you're allowed to eat animals that have fins and scales. That's in the water, right? If they don't have any of those, you shouldn't be eating it. Right? So what are some examples? One thing our people love eating is crabs. Right? That's a first example. Take a look at crabs, right? You don't see no fins, no scales, not even close. Something we shouldn't even be touching. Consider eating, right? That's a no-brainer. This is something we shouldn't even be eating. That our people eat every day. Right? What's another example? Shrimp. Shrimp is another example. Shrimps you shouldn't be eating. Right? No fins, no scales. Shouldn't be eaten. That's hands down. They don't have any of those. Now let's see the reason why. What does shrimp do for the sea? Right? Because I told you the Most High gives us a reason for everything. Right? Shrimps are doing a lot. According to Google, it says shrimps are doing a lot of work to clean water and preserving the ecosystem. In the water, there are so many small particles and other things that pollute the water. These scavengers pick each and every small materials on the bottom and clean water. Right? So it cleans the water by digesting the insects which are polluting the water. So you can see clear as day. Shrimp is something we shouldn't be eating. Right? It's to clean the water. That's its purpose to be here in this earth, right? In this planet. Right? So we shouldn't be eating shrimp at all. That's why it's in the waters, to clean it, not to be eaten. I bet you, let's see something real quickly, right? Bet you if we search this up also, it's gonna pop up. Is shrimp healthy to eat? I bet that. There you go. Summary. Shrimp is very nutritious. Salaki is very nutritious. It is fairly low on calories and provides a high amount of protein and healthy fats, in addition to a variety of vitamins and minerals. That's what Esau do. They lie to us. They know who we are, and they know what we should be and shouldn't be eating. But they push it out on us to eat it. And our people think it's okay because shrimp is good. I've told many people about this, and I've heard all the excuse. They be like, well, it's good, so that's literally their excuse. Right? The Most High will destroy you for this. All right, so back to verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, in the rivers, them shall ye eat. Right. So verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. Right. So those are food we shouldn't be eating if they don't have fins and scales and they're in the seas, right? We shouldn't be eating them. Verse 11. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses an abomination. Right. Whatsoever have no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. Right. And that's clear. That's a clear cut right there. I know Christian churches, I used to be a Christian. And I used to be into Christianity. Right. And they'll give you pork. They used to give me shrimp. They used to give me all that to eat. Why? Because they feel like it's okay to eat it now. Right. All of a sudden, shrimps don't eat. They don't clean the sea anymore. All of a sudden, they're just here just to be here. Right. The Most High changed his mind. And they will tell you straight up, the Most High don't change. Right? The Most High says something is going to happen. Right? So we need to, start eating healthier. Start looking into what we're eating. Even the foods we have today, like even a bag of chips, right? And if you look in the back in the ingredients, you need to start looking in the back in the ingredients, or even search up online, right, on your phone, right, what they put in your food. Because Esau, they'll do everything they can to have you in sin, to have you sinning against the Most High. All right, so I think that's it for today. I'll touch on those two for today, on animals in the sea and the animals on land, on the earth, that we should be eating and shouldn't be eating. All right, so stay away from the shrimp, crab, lobster. Right, and I know, Mama, I know about the Levites will know about this. The dig so and legume. Your parents would cook legume with crabs, right? They'll put crabs on the legume. Me, right? Knowing me, right? Because that's something you shouldn't even be touching, right? I would push it to the side. No, that's something you shouldn't even be doing, right? But you shouldn't be pushing it to the side and then, just still eating the part of the legume and putting it on your rice, right? Because the crab was cooked with the legume. That's a very popular food in the Levite tribe. These are spawn legume, right? You see your parents cooking anything with crab, with shrimp, they're feeding you pork, tell them, la, say no, and don't eat it. Let them know about it, right? Because the law is not done away with. Right? And Officer Zakar had made a video on that. Also, I advise you to check that out. The law is not done away with. Right? Because they'll tell you that the law is done away with. That you are able to eat it now. And that's something we shouldn't even be considering eating. And that's something we shouldn't consider, breaking the Most High's commandments, which is why we're in the condition we are today, right? So I hope you learned a lot in this video. Let's go back to keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. Be careful on what you eat. Right? Yahawashi, till next time. Shalom, Israel.